Hello, welcome back. I'm a great fan of chicken because it's so versatile. So today I'm going to show you my chicken and apricot casserole. Don't be alarmed because actually the flavour is wonderful. So here we go. Now as you can see I've got everything ready, so this really does explain exactly what you're going to need. I'm going to make enough for 4 people. If that's too much for you then simply halve it. If you want to make more, add to it obviously. And the first thing I'm going to do is deal with the chicken breasts. Now they're various sizes, some are quite big, some are quite small. And I always feel with a chicken breast you need to just check out this area here, because sometimes you find you get some bone, and there's nothing nastier than getting a shard of bone in your mouth. And often scissors are the best way to get rid of the nasty bits. I'm going to put that over there, and then I'm going to cut this down the middle and cut it into smallish chunks. That's the kind of size that you want. Check it again. There we are. So I've done these pieces as well, so I'm going to put them on the board so that they're out of all that juice. They're actually quite wet and I don't want that. And then I can get rid of the dish and I shall wash my hands. Do be careful when you're using raw meat at any time. Make sure that you're very, very clean. I'm just going to wash my hands. So moving on, all we need is an orange and an onion. And we need to prepare those. I'm going to do the orange first. And we're going to use the zest at the end to garnish it. Remember, garnish is for savoury things, decorate is for sweet things. So I've got a zester, it's very sharp, and it's a useful thing for this because the little curls that you get are quite decorative and will look nice when you serve this. So just go all over the orange, digging it in, get as much off as you can. There we are, and I'm going to put those to one side and save those for later. Now if you haven't got an orange but you've got some orange juice, then you can use that. You don't have to have the zest, but you will need some orange juice. So I'm going to cut it in half and squeeze out the juice. There we go. There we are, I've squeezed the juice out of my orange. I'm going to have to wash my hands again. If you haven't got an orange, as I say, use a box of juice, that's perfectly alright, and you just won't have the zest. We'll put that to one side, and now we need our onion. So top off, whoops, bottom off, papery layers. And this one does need to be cut quite small. So it's a bit more than just roughly chopping an onion for this. Put those in the sink and get rid of those later. Right. So use a bridge to keep your fingers safe. Cut down between the bridge, cut it in half and put it flat side down, then it won't wobble anywhere. And then follow the lines for your first cut. So hold it, go in the same direction as the green lines, and get as close together as you comfortably can. Then turn it round, hold them back together and go in the other direction. Again, as close together as you can comfortably get them. And it might collapse at the end, don't worry. Do your best to just hold it all together. Then if you lay it down, you can just cut across there. So then you just do the second one. There we are, that's our onion chopped. Now we've got a pint of chicken stock, that's 500 mils. I've already just put the stock cube in there. It is steaming, I don't know if you can see it. We've got 2 tablespoons of plain flour, and we've got the apricots. And I think I've got 12, but I've started to cut them in half. You just take your scissors and you just simply snip them, like that. And these are those semi-dried ones that are a little bit soft, and they're absolutely delicious. So we are ready to make a start. So I'm going to go over to the cooker, and the first thing I do is fry the chicken in a little bit of olive oil. Now I've got the oven on to number 5, gas mark 5, which is 190 Celsius or 170 fan or 375 if you're in Fahrenheit. I've got my frying pan and I've got a casserole, an oven-proof casserole for it to go in the oven when we're ready. So into the frying pan I'm going to put about a dessert spoon of olive oil and get that hot. Got to watch out for my board though, I don't want to melt that. And in will go the chicken. Get them spread out if you can. There we are. And I find the easiest way to keep them all turned over is actually with a knife and fork. Just be careful not to scratch your pan, that's all. And what you want to do is just seal the outside. Some recipes tell you to brown the chicken. It's very difficult to brown chicken breast because if it browns, it's almost cooked completely, and that is not quite what we're aiming for. So just get it sealed on the outside. Now when it's had a minute or two of sizzling, start to turn the pieces over, and you'll know when it's ready because it will turn white. And if you get some browning, that's fine, but just turn them over as you go. This is going to have an hour in the oven, so it's not about cooking it at this stage. It's just about sealing it to seal in the juices. Now, when it's all turned white, you get it out of the pan with your fish slice, into your casserole. And the next thing we're going to do is fry the onions. So I'm hoping there'll be a little bit of oil left in the bottom, and if there isn't, I'll just put some more in. That's that. So in go the onions. Oops, dropped them. A little bit more oil and turn the heat down a bit. I don't really want them to get too brown. And if you've got any bits on the bottom of the pan, you can scrape those up. Right, so they're beginning to go transparent, they're softening, and the next thing to do is add the flour. And quickly after you've added the flour, you put in the stock. I'm going to have a whisk handy for this. So, in goes the flour. And then gradually add your stock. And we finish up with what looks like a very, very unpromising paste, but it will be okay. Just keep it moving around, break up the lumps. That's why a whisk is handy. This is a wire whisk, and you can press down on any of the lumps that you see, and you've got multiple pieces of metal going through those lumps to break them up. So that's the stock. And the next thing is the orange juice, but I'll just give this a stir first. And we want this to boil, so we can have this turned up again now. So in goes the orange juice. And I'm hoping that those bits of flour will come out from between the prongs. I might have to help them. Right, this is our sauce, and so it's a very pale casserole, this one. When you serve it, it's a good idea to serve something green because it just needs a bit more colour. The apricots will give it some orange, so I wouldn't necessarily serve carrots, but I certainly would serve broccoli and beans or something like that. And it goes very well with pasta or rice or jacket potatoes. So we'll get that boiling. That's now ready to pour over the top of your chicken, so we'll turn it off. It goes over the chicken. spread around. And then onto that we need our apricots, just sprinkled over. And actually at this stage, if you like, you could actually put in sultanas or raisins as well. Might be a bit much for the people who are not too keen on dried fruit though. And you will need a little sprinkle of salt and a twist or two of pepper. And that's going to go in the oven, gas mark 5, for an hour. So lid on. Now if you're making half the quantity, you will need a much smaller casserole because obviously you won't have as much liquid either. So let's get that in the oven. Here we are. Now, this should be done. Oh wow, look at that. So all I need to do now is just sprinkle my orange zest on the top as a little bit of a garnish. And that will be delicious. So serve it with pasta or rice or jacket potatoes, whatever you like for carbs, and something green just to give it a bit more colour. So I hope you enjoy this one. Give it a go, like, share, subscribe, and let us know how you get on. Bye.